We begin tonight in South Florida. There has been a shooting at a high school in Parkland, north of Miami, and there are reports of injuries and what the school superintendent calls numerous fatalities.
17 people have been killed, students and adults.
You come to the conclusion this is just absolutely pure evil.
This has been a day we've seen the worst in humanity. Tomorrow is going to bring out the best in humanity as we come together to move forward from this unspeakable tragedy.
Douglas High's athletic director was laid to rest today with full military honors.
Chris Hixon tried to disarm Nicholas Cruz when he was killed. CBS 4's Gary.
My name is Thomas Hixon. I am the son of Chris Hixon, who was killed during the school shooting at Marjory, Stoneman, Douglas on February 14th, 2018. It's really hard to describe, the type of person that he was, because he wasn't very, show off. He wasn't very braggy, but he knew, he was hot stuff. He just didn't like to talk about it. He was a wrestler, so he kind of had that wrestler's mindset to where, I'm the baddest guy in the room, even if he wasn't. And he was also at the same time, while he was like that, he was also very caring and, compassionate towards people as well. He never, held grudges against people unless they pretty much gave him a reason to. Jimmy White had actually reached out to me through LinkedIn because since I was going through my transition, I was becoming very active on LinkedIn. And then after what had happened, I kind of wanted to get my father's story out there. And Jimmy White had seen it, and he actually contacted me via LinkedIn. He said, hey, I work for Travis Manion Foundation as a Character Does Matter ambassador. And I'm going to the school, and I want to use your father's story as what I use to preach to these kids, since my father was an educator, and he impacted so many kids' lives. He was, to Jimmy, I guess it felt like he was the best way to convey that to those students. So when he asked me to write up a letter, just kind of, let all my thoughts spill out on the page, and then I tried to organize it. And what I thought was going to be something short ended up being, I think, about a page and a half worth of writing.
My first reaction, it stopped me in my tracks. It really touched me, and for him to put into the letter saying that there was still a redeeming quality that would have been there, that if his father was still alive, he would have tried to help that kid on an emotional level, and to reform him and to show him that his character doesn't have to be those actions, that he could continue on to be a good person. It really touched me. So I wanted to do whatever I could to honor his father's memory, and I think reading the letter definitely did that.
Even though my father had interacted with the shooter before this incident, I truly believe if the shooter had come to my father a long time ago with the issues he was having in his life, that this tragedy would have never happened. That's the kind of effect my father had.
The new thing on Facebook now, during your birthday is to set up a donation to a charity. And I had decided to do the Travis Manion Foundation because I had found out about, Travis Manion when I was at TBS as a Marine officer, because there's a whole barracks hall named after him. Then while my mom and I were sitting there deciding what to put on the headstone, we were bouncing ideas back and forth. And my mom was the one that actually came out with it, and she was like, hey, you know what we should do, if not me, then who, which was the motto of the organization that you had donated to on your birthday. And when she said that, I was like, yes, that's actually the perfect thing to do, because that's exactly the type of person my father was. He never wanted to be in the spotlight, but we feel that everything he has done in his life and what he did for kids is something that needs to be out there and needs to be used as an example, not only for adults to live and to aspire to be, but for children to aspire to as well, because children need role models. They need positive role models, and we believe that my father is a perfect example of someone that every kid should look up to.